evening, folks, and welcome to this week's episode of Beer Rating with Sean Connors. As you can see, the beer I have this week is Savoie's Brewhouse Charlo Falls Rye IPA. Now, this is something totally new to me. I've obviously had an IPA before, Indian Pale Ale. However, I've never had a Rye IPA, and honestly, I've never even heard of a Rye IPA. I had last year, I didn't do a review on it, but it was part of my advent calendar last year. I had a Scotch ale, and basically it was an ale that was aged in Scotch barrels, and you actually got the flavor of the Scotch off the beer. Now, I'm not a liquor drinker by any means. Beer is my go-to drink, and that one I wasn't a big fan of it. And when I got this one, I actually thought, okay, maybe it's the same idea, where it's aged in rye barrels. But doing a little bit of research, my understanding is that's not the case at all. This one is basically simply is, instead of 100% malt, they use a portion of rye as their grain. And with that, the rye actually, it gives a bit of a spicy flavor, they say. It gives a little red tinge, and they say it also gives a nice mouthfeel to the beer. Mouthfeel, basically, you know, the physical sensation in the mouth when you're drinking the beer. It could be like creamy like milk, it could be smooth, rough, it could be light, dense, whatever the physical sensation is. So before I pour it up, I'm going to give my glass a cold water rinse as per normal. And once again, instead of putting your beer in the freezer, they say that you shouldn't do that. Just simply give it a quick cold water rinse. So I have a actually glass rinser which I use. So I'll do that. And that's basically just to cool down the glass a little tiny bit. Gets rid of any dust that might be on the glass. Alright, so before I open it up, I'm just going to read the can. It's a product of New Brunswick, actually Northern New Brunswick. This is one actually my niece brought down, my brother bought it for me. And it's just basically Northern New Brunswick, Savoie's Brewhouse Charlo Falls Rye IPA, 5.0% alcohol, and it says craft brewed in Charlo, New Brunswick. And that's about it. And I tried to get some information online, and it's my understanding it's a small brewery. There's no website, which is fine. A lot of small breweries, you know, they either don't have the financial capacity or the know-how to do a website. So most of them nowadays, or not most of them, a lot of them nowadays, they simply have a Facebook page. And this brewery is the same thing. But the only thing that kind of ticks me off a little bit, if you go on the Facebook page, it gives you minimum information. Basically tells you what brews are available, etc., etc. What I really like to see is a description of the individual beers, and they don't have that. I mean, it's pretty easy. You have a beer, just give a simple description. Basically, just tease me with a description of what I'm getting. So that would be my preference, but that's not the case here. I got a really nice can, nice graphics. Somebody made a comment on the Facebook page that said if the beer is as good as the graphics on the can, it should be a good beer. Alright, so right away we're getting the red tinge. And that's common with when you're using rye as your grain. Not a lot of head. And I could be wrong, but I think somebody made a comment on their Facebook page that they were disappointed that there wasn't a lot of carbonization. And that's, you know, lots of beers don't have a lot of carbonization, so not a big deal. Not a lot of flavor. Maybe a little bit of spice. Oh, wow. Quite a bit of flavor, but it's not a lingering flavor. It's an IPA, which is Indian Pale Ale, and basically IPAs, just to give you a quick history lessons on IPAs. IPAs came about, Indian Pale Ale is basically, the British were in India. British soldiers, you know, they enjoy their beer, but the problem was the ales at the time, they wouldn't make it to the trip to India without going bad. So the answer to that was basically they increased the hops in the beer to act as a preservative. And that actually helped the beer to last the voyage to India. So that's how Indian Pale Ale came out. I mentioned about the rye. I talked about that already. But you might be wondering, okay, why would they use rye? a lot of times it comes down to, I don't know if it's the case, but a lot of times it came down to the case of what was available. And my understanding, the rye grain is pretty easy to grow. It grows in some adverse conditions compared to other grains. So it's quite possibly that it was first done, basically, that's all they had. Alright, so I'm going to take a few more sips. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. I'm quite surprised because I expected it to be a little bit more hoppy. Quite honestly, I'm not a big IPA fan, so that doesn't help either. But this one, wow. It's got a lot of flavor to it. It doesn't have a lot of after flavor, but you know, definitely that has a lot of flavor. I was expecting almost like a spicy flavor. Not really getting that. I'm not quite sure what I'm getting, but quite honestly, what I am getting, I'm not overly fond of it. Not quite my cup of tea. I'm sure I'm going to finish it. There's not too many beers I don't finish. But I don't think it'll be something I'd pick up in the future. Actually, I was saying the aftertaste wasn't lingering, but now that I've had a little bit more, it's definitely lingering with me, and it's not really my cup of tea. I think I'm going to finish it, but I think it's going to be a struggle to finish it. So right now, to give it a rating, the Savoie Brewhouse, Sovie apostrophe S. It's obviously a French word in Northern New Brunswick. I know I'm going to struggle to finish it, but I'm pretty sure I will finish it. And as I said before, the last episode, I had a couple instances where I gave a rating, and then after I published the video, I finished my beer, and by the time I finished, I was like, yeah, that rating is not what it should have been. So I'm going to be, a little bit tighter giving my ratings from this point on. A 1 is normally, I'm not going to finish it, I don't like it. A 2 is not a fan, but I'm going to finish it. 3 is a good beer, 4 is a very good beer, 5 is the best beer ever. Quite honestly, I'm thinking this is going to be a 1.5, which is in between 1 is a drain pour, and 2 being I don't like it, but I'll finish it. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish this one, but I think it's going to be a real struggle, and I'm probably going to be tempted not to finish it, but I probably will. So I think a 1.5 is probably the rating I'm going to stick with that. And that's probably my lowest rating to date. However, as I mentioned, the one I did a couple weeks ago, 3 Seasons from Kitty Video, I originally gave that a 3. I finished the video, I finished the beer, opened up a second one, couldn't get it down at all. That second one ended up going down the drain. It was a drain pour. So realistically, that 3 should have been a 1.5. And this one, I think if I had 2 of them, I don't even think I'd even try to do the second one. First one's going to be a struggle. So I think I'm comfortable giving it a 1.5. So once again, Charlo Falls, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. The Rye IPA, I think I'm comfortable giving it a 1.5, whereby I'm going to finish it, but it's going to be a struggle. And honestly, I can't see me picking up another one. So there you go, folks. That's my rating for this week. As always, until next beer, enjoy responsibly. Cheers.